Okay, so we're doing absolute value greater than. The other two videos are posted in your team's notebook, pre-calculus, because I swapped some videos from my college algebra class, which was on my different account. So this is absolute value greater than, but I do review the equals and the less than, but I don't have all the explanation. All right, so when we do any absolute value, the first thing we have to do is isolate the radical. We have to isolate the absolute value. Okay, you can't do anything until you isolate the absolute value. So that means I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Now this is equal. You should have watched the video on this. So 3x plus 1 equals 10. Now, remember the inside, which is 3x plus 1, can either equal 10 or 3x plus 1 could equal negative 10, because the absolute value of negative 10 is also 10. So now we have our two parts. So we subtract 1, 3x equals 9, or x equals 3. All right, so now I do the other side, subtract 1. I get 3x equals negative 11. So x can be negative 11 over 3. Those are my two answers. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. When you have less than, you still isolate the absolute value, which we did, and now we split it into two parts. So we say either 2x minus 5 is less than 3, and when we talk about, if you watch the other video, this is and, less than is and so then I'm going to say 2x minus 5 is greater than negative 3. You not only switch the 3 to negative, but you switch the inequality. And now you go ahead and solve this. We'll add 5, so 2x is less than 8, so x is less than 4, and add 5, I get 2x is greater than 2, or x is greater than 1. So if I were to graph that, I would have 1 and 4. It's less than 4, so it's an open circle this way, but it has to be greater than 1, so it's an open circle this way. This is the and statement. If I'm doing it in interval notation, I would do 1, 4. Okay, so make sure you watch the video to see and, less than. So now we do greater than, and this is our first introduction to greater than. If I think about this, if I just had the absolute value of x was greater than or equal to 2, 2 would work, 2.5 would work, 3, 4, all of these numbers would work. I could put any of those numbers in and it would make it true. But also, something like negative 10 would work, because the absolute value of negative 10 is 10, right? Negative 5, negative 4, negative 3 even. Absolute value of negative 3 is 3, so that's still greater than 2. And I would actually get all the way down here to negative 2. So I'm like, oh, that's an or statement, right? That's an or statement. So this is x is less than or equal to negative 2, or x is greater than or equal to positive 2. Notice that this is this without the absolute value. So just like with the less than, we had that. And then the one over here, I'll change colors because I can. This one, notice I switched the inequality and I switched the sign. Okay, so that's what you have to make sure you do. And then, of course, this is an or statement, not an and statement. Okay? If I do this in interval notation, it would be negative infinity to negative 2, because it's equal to, it's a square bracket, or is the u, square bracket, 2, comma, infinity. All right, so with any absolute value, you have to isolate the absolute value, separate using positive and negative for the inside, and then remember equals and greater than are or statements, less than is and. Okay, so there it is in a snapshot, boom. Okay, so now here's another greater than, so I have to isolate the absolute value. So I subtract 5, so the absolute value of x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 2. Once I isolate it, then I separate it into two parts. Make sure you separate it before you try to subtract 4. So x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 2. Greater than is or. I say x plus 4, switch the inequality, and then make it a negative 2. So x subtract 4 is greater than negative 2, or subtract 2, x is less than or equal to negative 6. Now I realize that this part is down here, negative 6. It goes this way. And I realize that the other part is here, and it goes to the right. But for whatever reason, I always do the looks like the original first. And then this is negative infinity comma negative 6 square bracket, or square bracket negative 2 comma infinity. Okay, I think that's all the examples that I had. Yep. Okay, all right, good luck.